Hello everyone, I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're inside a 2014 Lexus CT 200H taking a look at the Lexus Enform infotainment system. Right here we have the navigation-equipped CT, so do keep that in mind as I go through this particular system. If we first take a look at the center console, this is where you'll find the dual USB inputs as well as an auxiliary stereo input. We also have a 12-volt power outlet right there. And then we have the heart of the system, which is this Lexus remote touch controller. You can think of it sort of as a mouse or a joystick type interface. We also have a dedicated menu button, zoom in and out button, and a home button right there. The Lexus remote touch joystick does have haptic feedback, so as you can see right now, it returns to center. If I click it over there to that option, it's on the upper right-hand side of the screen, it stays over there. If I move it down to the bottom right-hand screen, it stays there. If I click it, push it upwards, you can see that it snaps to a different button up there on the top of the screen. So it does have feedback in that manner. Let's take a closer look at that screen. I also have the remote touch controller down here on the right-hand side of your screen so you can see how that interacts. This is the home screen that is now spreading its way across Lexus and Toyota products. This screen interface is very similar to what we recently saw in the Lexus GX 460. It's basically the same software, except that the GX uses a touch screen to interact with the same software, and the CT, like most other Lexus products, uses this Lexus remote touch controller right here in the center console. I think the Lexus remote touch controller is one of my least favorite input methods, but strangely enough, I find the software itself that's running in the dashboard one of my favorite software entries, so it is kind of a mixed system for me. This home screen is fairly intuitive. Up here on the upper left, we have our fuel economy screen, we have entertainment below that, and then we have navigation on this right-hand side. You can click this little icon right up here in the upper right in order to change what you would like to see on the home page. So if you want to see climate control, you can put climate control here, for instance, and then the screen will rearrange itself, and now you can see that we have climate control over there. It is highly configurable, and you can also change that layout to a two-screen layout if you so desire. You can also put the two options on one side or on the other. So now you can see we have our infotainment or entertainment right over here on the right, and our climate control right over here on the left. Clicking one of these options takes you right over to that screen. So if we click right over here, you'll see we're taken directly to the climate screen. We can press back on the home button to be returned to the main menu. And if we click over here on the left to our satellite radio, now we're back here on the audio interface. Now this audio interface is a good place to see why I really don't like the Lexus remote touch controller, because there are an awful lot of little buttons here, and where if you had a infotainment screen that was a touch screen, you could just look at this and then you could just stab at it with your finger. It would be relatively easy to do. With this Lexus remote touch controller, it does require a decent amount of hand-eye coordination to get the right option on the screen as you're wandering around with this little joystick thing. Fortunately, this screen is set fairly high in the dashboard. I'll zoom out really quickly so you can see how it's located here. It is located fairly high on the dashboard, and that does help improve visibility and help keep your eyes from being quite so distracted out on the road. But it is a little bit more distracting than most of the other infotainment systems, especially versus Lexus's touchscreen infotainment systems. Let's go on to the main menu. This is where you'll find most of the options in the system. We have climate, navigation. Ours is the navigation-equipped model. For Lexus App Suite, info screen, radio, media, phone, setup, and then up here we can change our display options. We were just in the climate screen, which is fairly self-explanatory. We'll take a look at the navigation screen now. This is basically the same navigation software that Lexus has been using for a while, only it's been updated, and the speed has been greatly improved because it's now using a micro SD card for the map software rather than a DVD or a hard drive, and that really does improve the responsiveness of the system. It's a highly responsive system, and a big change this year is that our traffic is now delivered by HD radio. As you can see right here, we have a little HD radio icon there, so it is free traffic. You no longer need a subscription in order to get that traffic. And also, if you're outside an HD radio area, the system can now start downloading the traffic information via your paired Bluetooth smartphone. That really separates us from other entries out there who don't have that option of being able to receive traffic information two different ways. So if you're in an area that doesn't get a cellular signal, you can get it via HD radio. If you're in an area that doesn't get HD radio, you can get it via the cellular signal. We, of course, have multiple different map views in this system. We have a 2D view, a 3D view. You can get dual view. You can get compass view as well. You can choose all those various different views there. You can choose a flatter 2D view using that little button right there. We still get traffic information. You can use this direct access button right there on the Lexus remote touch controller to zoom in and out, or you can use the zoom in and out buttons right down there. Entering an address into the system is very easy, either via this interface or via the natural voice commands. We also have the option for web searching via the system right here. You can also call the Lexus Destination Assistant, so you can talk to someone and have them assist you in entering the address. The address entry is in very natural voice commands, and that is my preferred method of entry in this system, because if we click over here to this system right here, and I'll enter a house number, you can see we will then move on to a street name, and now we have to interact with a regular old keyboard using this Lexus Remote Touch Controller, and that is quite distracting, honestly, whether you're driving or whether you're parked. It's not the easiest way to enter an address into the system. However, the voice commands of the system do work very well.
After the beep, please say a command. Please say help at any time for additional instructions.
Navigation.
Go to navigation. Please say a navigation command.
Enter an address.
Enter an address. Please say the full address, including the city and state or province.
897 Hinckley Road, Burlingame, California. In addition to being relatively rapid as far as recognizing your voice command, the voice commands for actual navigation route instructions are very fluid and very attractive as well. Going back to the main menu, we can go on to our LEXUS App Suite. This is very similar to the Toyota App Suite that you'll find on Toyota products. We have Bing integration, iHeartRadio, movie tickets, OpenTable, Pandora, Facebook Places, etc. These all require that there be an app running on your paired USB smartphone in order for that to work. There are additional apps that Lexus claims will be available at some point soon, but these apps in general work very well. It's relatively easy to search for addresses via Bing. You can also stream your media via Pandora. The Facebook Places isn't as integrated as BMW's iDrive is, but it does work very well for itself. The info option is where you will find things like fuel consumption. We have our fuel consumption displays in the CT. You can see our past record right here. You can see where our energy is going, your typical hybrid energy display right there. And you can see every time you've reset the trip record, you can see what your fuel economy has been. Been averaging about 42.1 miles per gallon in this car over my time. Also have traffic incidents, again delivered by HD radio. We have weather reports, again delivered by HD radio as well. You can see our current weather. You can also see other local cities or a weather map. You can see a current or a 3-day forecast and a 6 or 12-hour forecast for our area right here. We took a quick look at the radio screen, but let's go back there and take a look. We have our presets over here on the left-hand side of the screen. You can use the Lexus Remote Touch Controller to move this list up and down. This is a combined list of AM, FM, and satellite radio presets right over there. Scan, we can channel list, we can change our sound options, get the various text entries from that satellite station that we're on right there. And then we can go up here and change our source. You can change the source between all of your various input methods. We do have a shortcut to iHeartRadio and Pandora in this same interface. You can scoot over to the other side, and you can see we also have the AV input in this system. Now you can access your Bluetooth device or your iPod via that input right there, or you can actually go back to the main menu, click Media, and then use your device in that fashion there as well. Right now we have a device connected via Bluetooth audio to this system, and this is where you can see we have a very advanced Bluetooth interface compared to some of the other entries out there in the luxury segment especially, because we can actually browse our Bluetooth device, our playlists, artists, albums, genres, etc. right via Bluetooth. We don't need the USB cable to be actually connected to the phone. As you can see right now, my phone is not actually physically connected to the system, but I can browse the playlists in this iDevice, and then you can select tunes right from this playlist. This additional functionality via Bluetooth is very handy because if you're using an iDevice like I am right here and you're on iOS 7, then you may have some problems interfacing with that iDevice via your USB cable right there in the center console. And that's because it seems that there is an Apple problem that Apple has not addressed on their latest software package. Hopefully they will address it soon. Older iDevices running iOS 6 don't seem to have a problem, but the latest ones do. Over here on the phone interface, you will find your stereotypical phone interface. We also have messaging support if your device supports it. Bluetooth devices from Apple do not support this at this time. As you'd expect from Bluetooth phone interface, we do have a dial pad, we have a contacts list, call history, favorites, etc. If we go back, we have the setup options where you can change vehicle settings as well as system settings right here in the Lexus Enform system. Overall, I like Lexus Enform, although I really dislike this Lexus Remote Touch Controller. For me, this helps put the system below Audi's MMI, BMW's iDrive, even something like my Ford Touch or my Lincoln Touch in this segment. I definitely place this system slightly above my Ford Touch if it has the touchscreen. So in the Lexus GX460, I definitely rank the system higher. But in cars like this Lexus CT 200H, where we have this Lexus Remote Touch Controller, it does rank about 4th or 5th overall for me. The input method is a big deal when it comes to a navigation and infotainment system that you're going to use while you're driving. I do find this does make me a lot more distracted while I'm driving than the touchscreen system that's in the Lexus GX460. Hopefully Lexus will come up with some answer to this distraction problem in future software versions. But at the current moment, I would definitely buy the system over the base system that just has iPod integration but doesn't have navigation or the Lexus Remote Touch Controller. But you do need to be aware that it is a little bit more distracting out on the road. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Go ahead and click on over to my channel where you can find the full review of the Lexus CT 200H coming up in about the next day or so. I also encourage you to subscribe to my channel, comment on this video, tell me what you liked and didn't like about it or about Lexus Remote Touch in general, and I'll see you next week.